want to talk a little bit about a really interesting story that our guys over at Pirates and Princesses put out. I think it's one that you guys might want to, I'm going to talk of it. I'm not going to open it up and read it to you. I'm just, first off, I think time is prohibitive and I don't feel like doing it. But anyway, they put it out there basically saying that pretty much Kennedy was on her way out. Yellow Flash actually admitted now it does look she's on her way out. When this is going to happen, I don't know. But the feeling among everybody is her contract won't be renewed and she will be, allowed to, hey, Senna Dave, allowed to, wander off into that uncharted place where incompetent people like her go. And I don't care where it is as long as it's not anywhere near Lucasfilm. But the article did bring up a little bit about Indiana Jones 5 and that supposedly there's trouble because they're still filling casting slots. And that, again, bringing up Harrison Ford's age. May I remind the people that are bringing up his age, he's in better shape than all of you combined. The man just got done riding a 1,000-mile bike ride in 80 hours. Okay, now a lot of you might think, well, that's not fast, but I'm pretty sure none of you could do that either. So, I'm just going to throw that out there. They're basically saying that filming now won't start until August. I've actually seen actual news reports saying that they're set to film in Ireland, a castle in Scotland, House Atreides, and Sicily, and then back to Tunisia or something like that. So, and Utah in the desert. So I don't know what any of this means, but I do know that she has appeared on the set, like, the pre-filming, developing, and executive producers usually don't, but she's been out there wandering around. I have a stinking feeling, and I haven't read it, and I think it was actually a legit source saying that Steven Spielberg has been very hands-on, and she has not. I don't know what that means. Howdy, Matt Piranha. Howdy, everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty excited. It kind of looks to me when I see they hired 2 more people, 1 black woman. I'm trying to figure out what her point is, if it's whatever. But it looks to me like they're gearing up to do Indy 5 and probably start sooner than August. I could be wrong, but I've seen different. All I know is that the movie's going to be made. All right. If they start filming in August, he's either going to be 78, 79 years old, or he's going to be 78 when it starts filming. Okay, that's all I can say. Anyway, but Kennedy, yeah, it's now become the consensus that she's out. What does it mean? I don't know. If you note, like I said before, the small details give a lot of information away. And Paula Hidalgo is on Twitter acting like nothing bad ever happened with that public Twitter account. Like he's trying to pretend that he never did anything bad or called anybody names or, we've all got receipts. We all know he was being a goddamn juvenile delinquent. Okay, so his little play acting bullshit really doesn't hold water for me. Okay, I'm like, really? Because again, I said this before, past his prologue. You pulled shit on the fans before. Now, I mean, I gotta tell you something. He's noticing that people are complaining that the Star Wars social media page on Twitter didn't wish George Lucas a happy birthday. But here he made sure to remember George on his birthday. You know, this guy who never said anything gracious about George Lucas in his whole fucking life. Give me a break. Give me a fucking break. He's a fucking phony asshole. So, whatever. I think big changes are coming, and we're gonna find out a lot more, probably sooner than later. So how does this Time Warner Discovery merger bomb affect everything? Well, it's got to make Bob Chapek go like this. It's got to make other people go like this. And let's see. We've got the head of the DC film division. What's his name? Shit. This just broke that he's hired an attorney to help him separate from the company. Okay, that's huge. He was the guy that was behind the Snyderverse. Okay, he wanted it. Nothing about the woman who sounded like Kathleen Kennedy. And the guys are like, well, if he's leaving, then, you know, they'll stay. Hamada and what's her face will stay. And I'm like, it looks like there are big changes coming. My gut feeling is like everybody's out. Right? Everybody. That guy, I mean, he might not want to stay. He might be thinking, okay, I've got a better gig coming, you know, and I better get out of here while I can, because this is going to be absolute fucking chaos right now. And it's never good to be in a situation in a merger if you're not one of the people who are putting the merger together, because everybody that's working for the companies being merged is looking on going, am I going to keep my job? There are extenuating circumstances which lead me to believe that the reason why we haven't heard anything about that woman, what's her name, Anne something, she said something really shitty about the fans. Yeah, I think you're right too on that one. I think it's a wait and see, but I also think that what's his face is probably smart to get out. I think it's not him getting pushed out as much as him wanting to leave, because if he was getting pushed out, you wouldn't hire a. I know I haven't read the article, so maybe he is being pushed out, but I wouldn't think he'd hire a lawyer to help facilitate it. You know, if your lawyer shows up for anything like that, it's to make sure they're not fucking you, right? And maybe that's why I did it. But to me, it looks like he hired the lawyer to facilitate the separation. Okay, but I haven't read the article. But how does it look for the rest of Hollywood? Well, you got CBS, Viacom, and they're, you know, trashing of Star Trek. You've got Disney with ABC and ESPN, Hulu, and Disney Plus, and they're all chasing Netflix. The thing about it is this: the reason I think why AT&T decided to unload or to do this is because they need the money. Hey, Wookiees Lives Matter. I haven't seen you in a long time. That they're under a tremendous debt load. Hey, Bobby. That it makes sense, and it also puts them in a better position to chase Netflix. It's a strange combination because you've got Discovery with the Discovery Channel with Mike Rowe and The Deadliest Catch and H&G Network with, flipping houses and stuff like that. And, in some ways, I think you're right. You know who's probably watching this carefully and just seeing where it goes is probably Rupert Murdoch. If you remember, months and months and months ago, the Murdochs bought Quibbly, which has a decent catalog. You can get it anywhere. It's free. And they're just watching. They're watching. And what I think they're doing is they're saying what fails, and they're probably going to pick it up. You also got to remember that Murdoch now has a streaming service, and he didn't have to develop it himself. He bought an existing one. Disney went full out in creating their own, and it has been somewhat a disaster. They probably would have made more money had they bought something like Quibbly and kept Hulu and maybe turned Hulu into Disney Plus and Quibbly merge them together, But Disney didn't go that way. They wanted their own thing. Now they got their own thing. They have successful shows like The Mandalorian, The Bad Batch, WandaVision, but it's not enough. I'm just sitting back watching all this going, and I think what bothers me about the Time Warner thing is if what's his face is leaving, you guys who are DC fans are gonna get more woke shit. Hamada won't leave unless the Batman and Flash movies suck and fail. And who knows, maybe they will, maybe they won't, we don't know. That woman who made, I think, Kathleen Kennedy sound like Mother Teresa when she attacked the Snyder Cut fans, she should go just because of what she said. I don't understand black, and that's, you're right, Senator Dave. Here's the deal. Black Superman is so stupid, I can't even. And it's not because I'm anti-black. I mean, I'm not racist. So if you're some left-wing loon and you think because I said that I'm a racist, then fuck off, okay? I got no time for that shit. Here's the problem. There is a black Superman. It is not Kal-El, and they want it to be Kal-El because that's the extent of JJ's creativity, okay? And that's the dipshit that is behind, this bullshit, it's just a pocket. It's just gonna be a fiasco, and part of me says because this is a merger, because the guy that runs Discovery is a pretty efficient dude, and he's a no-nonsense guy, so it sounds like he's a pretty good businessman. Will he even tolerate all this woke shit? Yeah, you're right, and they don't need this. It's just another way for the actual racists, J.J. Abrams and stuff. I don't know, Senator Dave. Andre and Tom were trying to explain why after the failures of Star Trek, where he can say I didn't have anything to do with the last one, and the fact that his first foray into Star Wars, The Force Awakens, that made the most money of any Star Wars movie if you don't consider the rate of inflation. Okay, made $2 point some billion. That's a lot of money. Okay, that's no shit, a lot of money. Okay, that's all they look at. They don't look if the story was good. They don't. They don't look at. They don't look at it. Will it have any legacy? And you can see the fact it doesn't have any legacy because who's buying the toys? I mean, I. You're right, Cinedave, and the fan service that JJ is so bad at. You know, when I go on Amazon or to any of the other toy, collectible things, and I see a pack from Hasbro of Sith, it's Vader, it's Sidious, it's Maul, and Kyle Ron, who isn't a Sith at all. He's not a Sith. I mean, that was the whole point. He wasn't supposed to be a Sith. He was just supposed to be some dark Jedi. I mean, he couldn't even be bothered to use the word Darth, you know? And I mean, I think the funny thing about it is when I think about all that, I start laughing and I think, were they trying to make him like a Count Dooku? You know? Well, DW, if they want their streaming services to go, no, Dooku's not in it. But I'll explain in a minute. DW, if they want to make money, they better care about legacy because the people that have it do. And we're not giving them any until they do. Okay, that's how that works. See? If there's no market for Rey, why are you making Rey? If there's no market for Kyle Ron, the bass-faced boy, why are you making Kyle Ron? Okay, why are you doing a show with the pasty-faced weirdo? Oh, they're smart. They're DW. They're smart enough. There are people that are crunching numbers, going, "We can't make money at this. These figures don't sell." And Bob Chapek is an accountant. Okay, Bob Chapek knows that. I think Bob Iger suddenly got an education in that. Kathleen Kennedy's too stupid to understand it. Those people like her, the people that a long time ago will go to the front office people and say, well, I'd like to make this movie. And they'd say, there's no money in it. The audience won't watch it. I have friends who used to work in the front office who, at a movie studio, who very happily made they're not Matt Piranha. They're the people that could do it aren't or weren't in positions of power to do it. Now, with Disney talking about going more into distribution, focusing on that, that means it's focused on us, you and me. All right, we're the ones that consume it, right? We're the ones, they want our dollars and they need our dollars, okay? Or we're gonna wake up and there's gonna be a merger talk between Disney and whatever. And right now, Disney is very vulnerable to be taken over. They don't have any cash on hand at all. And if they do, it was all borrowed. But talking about the Sith pack, that's the only place that I actually have seen. Now I'd say Disney and Apple. Apple would actually be more of a natural place. I see Amazon and Sony, to be honest. I don't know why, but the only place that Hasbro can sell Kyle Ron figures is in that pack of 4, and he's not a Sith. My dog is a Sith compared to him. He was never meant to be a Sith. JJ said it. He doesn't take the name Darth. He is not a Dark Lord of the Sith. He's a Dark Lord of bullshit. And there he is, next to Grandpa and Palpy and Uncle Darth Maul. It's like, This is where it ended up. This is where dipshit ended up. Okay. Hey, old redneck nerd. So, oh yeah, I mean, and I can't wait to get my Asajj Ventress. I just ordered, if you guys are on Echo Base Network's Facebook page, you've seen it. It's called The Journey of the Falcon. It's a print. And it's the Millennium Falcon. It's just sitting there. But through different scenes, like the first one is Luke and Obi-Wan approaching the Falcon before they left Tatooine. See Han and Chewie. The second one is Hoth. Han is on top welding something, and Leia's standing there looking up at him. And the third one is Lando saying, goodbye, and Han turning away from him. And I got the 24 by 16, so it's going to be about 2 feet by, a little over a foot. It's a beautiful print. It really, really is. So I can't wait to get it. Oh my God. I'm like, this is going to be one of the coolest things I've ever owned in my life. It'd be really cool to see it, to get the back of it autographed by Harrison and Billy and, Mark, because sadly everybody else is gone. But it would be great. It's going to look great in the media room. It really, really is. But that's what people want. I looked at my bank account and said I can afford $30 for this print, so I did. See, man, I don't know if it's good news or not, because the guy that was actually trying to bring the Snyderverse and to bring some respect back to the fans is trying to leave right now. In fact, that was one of the news stories that just broke when on Midnight's Edge, as they were talking about this. Oh, what? What, old redneck nerd? I was talking. Oh, really? He did? Shit, I should have stayed and listened. I'll go back and listen. They have to adapt more EU. I just got into a huge argument with someone over me putting hashtag Fire Pablo Hidalgo on the Disney Books page. But it's like, on Facebook, but it's like, where is it? Oh, is it the one with what's his face leaving? Oh, so Sarnoff and Amada are going. This is the end of Wokistan. This is the end. Let me explain this. Oh my God. They leave, Kennedy leaves. This is huge. I cannot wait until they announce Kennedy leaving. I can't, because now I know shit is changing in Hollywood. Let me explain. The powers that be in Hollywood are starting to realize kissing the asses of China and the woke on Twitter and everywhere else has not filled their coffers with quan. Okay, money. All right, currency, stuff they need. You understand where I'm going with this? This has everything to do with trying to get back to what they do best. And this is, if Sarnoff and Hamada are leaving too, all I can do is say, what, Kennedy? Oh, I'm gonna be right here with my glass of rosé Clico, or maybe, I'll go and even get a more expensive bottle of Grand Dame, or maybe Dom Perignon. And yeah, we'll party like rock stars. I mean, we will get, you know, I plan on putting on music. I plan on dancing around like a crazy person. I plan on playing Yub Nub. Yeah, I think these changes in Hollywood, where you're going to have a 45-day window for a movie to be out, and then it'll go to streaming, and hopefully to hard media, physical media, so we can actually have a copy if we really want one. It'll be great. I mean, it'll be, we need this. I mean, the world needs positive stuff. We've got a dipshit in the White House. I just paid $5.50 for 2 gallons of gas, where last year I would have bought 3.5, 4 gallons of gas on maybe six, 3 gallons of gas on six. This is wrong. Okay, this is bad, and I am angry AF about it. Okay, we can't. It's a bad thing, and we need some positive news. And I think Hollywood. Well, like, look. I mean, when you look at Marvel and DC Comics, they're dead. They're dead. I don't think they will, DW. I think there's a market for it, like for big movies, like a Star Wars feature film, and others. And like, if you want, I don't know, if she's really on a long goodbye, and you know, oh yeah, we're back to the Carter years, all right. Holy shit, unbelievable. All we need is a bunch of weirdos to take over a U.S. embassy and keep a bunch of hostages, Americans hostage for, 400 days. You know, well, that will, that, and then we would truly reach 70s peak bullshit. Okay, and then interest rates up. So anyway, it's a weird combination. I mean, the guys were on Midnight's Edge were saying they couldn't really see. Lorena Creole was saying it's a funny thing because you've got Discovery with its live action reality shows and investigative Discovery and all the rest of that stuff, and of course Dangerous Catch and all the rest of that. But you've got a place where it might just work, where it might kind of it'll be interesting if they bundle it and you can get Discovery Plus and HBO Max. Hey, and people will be able to get it for free with HBO Max. Great. I mean, I get HBO Max for free because of our cable, but I mean, and I watch a lot of, like, when Fixer Upper was on. I really do like those two, Chip and Joanna. And that girl with the weird voice from Michigan, she is, I mean, some of those old abandoned houses in Detroit, it's just heartbreaking to see them. And she buys them for like $1 and fixes them up and back to their glory days. I mean, there was a Tudor mansion that had to be 6,000 square feet that they absolutely gutted it, took it apart, put it back together again, put fixtures and things in there that were relevant to the time period it was built. Oh my God. Not my taste. I would have gone more current, but it was beautiful. And that, I'll tell you, if you want a dining room where you can have a ton of people, great big table, where you're not bumping into each other, that was that was the thing that I liked the most. Big, beautiful fireplace in the dining room, beautiful chandelier. It was gorgeous. And I'm like going, why don't we have dining rooms like that anymore? I would like to have my dining room be twice the size. You know, well, I don't think Pelosi cares. I mean, to be honest, I mean, she's the worst speaker in the history of the House. And I, saw Denny Hastert up close. And, far be it from me to be one of the people that knew what he was really all about. Oh, he likes little boys. Well, that's nice. You know, it's always the last person you'd ever expect. But anyway, so this is good. If Mike is right, that Sarnoff and Hamada are on their way out too, then, and when Kennedy leaves, the Wokey McWoker stands are done. I mean, again, go to Twitter and see, look on Pablo's public account. He's all sunshine and unicorn farts. We all know what he is. Past his prologue, I wouldn't keep him. If I was going in as the head of Lucasfilm, he and the story group would be gone. And they would know it the day I showed up. I would come up with a different idea. I would go back to what George did. George didn't need a goddamn story group. He didn't need that. They've got continuity. I mean, Leyland Chief are crying out loud. I mean, how many people out there would die to be able to say they work for Lucasfilm on Star Wars, that are fans, that are professional writers, professional animators, who are good at their jobs, who would give everything, every ounce of blood to do a good job on that franchise and on Indiana Jones? A lot. The line from The Devil Wears Prada, 1 million girls would kill for this job. All right? I know there are. I know there are people out there that are talented who look at the dumpster fire and go, I could do a better job than that. You have to love what you do. You have to have a passion for it. Oh, yeah, I like her too. I think she gets a bad rap. No, they're not. I mean, well, here's the deal. H&G Network did have a problem with those twins. Oh, I know they're not using the story group. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, I've said this before. They don't use the story group. They don't go into Lucasfilm because Lucasfilm right now is a place of evil. It is a place of woke bullshit. When Cameron says, he had friends that went in there, try to get jobs, and it was so woke that, and they were liberals, they were liberal Democrats, they couldn't even work there. They weren't, they were interviewed and, that was it. I'm like, that's not how you run a company. And it's not even mediocre, it's garbage. I mean, High Republic is just a dumpster fire, and Kevin Scott just released his book. Are you all beating down the doors to go get it? No. I mean, oh, hey, Liko. I mean, who would want to breathe that garbage? I mean, you know, and it's well known all over Disney what a dumpster fire that is. Well, she's got, if she's there, but I think the person that needs to be the one, if they do the Veil of the Force, and it's Palpatine trying to get to his mirror room, which is stupid, but if that's the way they have to do it, then that's the way they have to do it. I would rather see Luke be the one to do it. That's his job, not Ahsoka's. You take away the heroic effort that Luke and Vader put into destroying Palpatine to begin with, and give it, to Filoni's pet. It's like, that's bullshit. That's not her job. And I think the fans wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it. I'd rather see Luke go, my job. I mean, in Dark Empire, Han shot the last Palpatine clone. He pulled out his DL-44 and blasted him. Dead, gone, poof. So that is, killing Palpatine is a classic legacy character's job, and that legacy character should be Luke. All right. Then we got Mike Zero. Somehow his bullshit. If you go to his channel and you believe anything that comes out of that stoner's mouth, I don't respect you. We've got Big Freaking Robot reporting from Mike Zero that Daisy Ridley's in talks to return as Rey. When I used to watch him, I used to think, the guy's there's something wrong with him, and I think he's on a spectrum, but it makes me so angry that he just spews this garbage out there, and people believe it. It's like, what in the hell? I can't. I mean, Daisy Ridley's not coming back to Star Wars. They're not gonna do what the. You'd have to be. My dog knows. I mean, my horse is like, they'd never bring her back. Why would they bring her back? She can't tell. Well, I think people go there just to laugh, or just, look, there's a generation of people, a part of a generation of people, that have been so glued to the internet that they don't understand what the truth is anymore. They really, really don't. And that's what we're seeing. Oh, I can't. There's something wrong with him, because every day he does the exact same thing. He says the exact same things in the same way, and he tries to sound really professional. It's almost like when he was a kid, he used to watch Entertainment Network with Juliana DePandy, because that's who he sounds like. I'm Juliana DePandy. This skinny, ugly, scrawny Italian woman with this big, deep voice, and it's like, and there's Mike mimicking her, because it's cool. It's not cool. But we just have to do a wait and see. This is going to be, with all this, and again, I'm going to say this. If you want to know what's going on, go on Twitter and see what Pablo's saying. Because, again, he's suddenly all sunshine and rainbow farts in public. But he still has his a Quinn Martin production Twitter account, which is locked, and we can't see it because, I don't know why he felt the need to go public again. But it's very interesting. If you look at the thumbnail of this, he basically was complaining on that thumbnail that he'd been thrown into the Hudson since October 2019. I would prefer animated, and if they do a live action deep fake, I don't. I thought Billy Lord looked pretty good deep faked as her mom, and I think if you got somebody like Anthony Ingruber and deep faked Harrison Ford over him, you know, I think that would work. The actor that they deep faked Peter Cushing over for Rogue One, he's actually a very famous British actor. I've seen him in a lot of things. I was like, but it worked. It worked. And then I thought the deep fake for Luke worked too. You know, it would just be really nice to be able to enjoy Star Wars without the Reylos, without the woke shit, without the gross idea that everything you loved about Star Wars, you know, doesn't matter anymore because we all know what the end was, which is bullshit. You know, you know, when you're watching the end of Return of the Jedi, if they don't, I really don't want to see another actress play Leia. I don't want to see another actor play Han Solo. We already know how well that went, unless it's Anthony Ingruber. And I really don't want to see Sebastian Stan as Luke because he's too tall. And he might look like him, but he doesn't look like him, if you know what I mean. I'd have a hard time with Sebastian Stan being over 6 feet tall and Alden Ehrenreich, who's shorter than I am, playing Han Solo. I mean, they don't look right. It doesn't look right, and the fans would notice. That's the thing. Again, I think the powers that be, at least Favreau and Filoni, know that we're a lot more sophisticated than we've been given credit. Okay? And that's a big thing. All right? I fully expect, I mean, I want to go to Star Wars Celebration next year. If we get everything. If we get rid of the story group, if we get rid of the people that caused all these troubles. I mean, the Reylo stuff. I mean, if Doomcock is right, and they are erasing the sequel trilogy. Oh, you're right. You're right, DW. That was a joke. I was mortified because he's too tall. No head coverings. What does that mean? I don't understand that. I think you guys gotta stop being affixed on no helmets. Okay, well, probably just for the 501st if they're gonna be, you know, escorting people around. I really can't wait because I think a lot of the people that cause trouble are gonna be gone. You've got Jason Ward. I don't think he'll be there at all. Hopefully, Steele Saunders, if he's there, will be in such a reduced capacity that it won't matter. We can laugh at him. Star Wars Explained, because they've got such a big channel, they'll be there. I don't want him recast, and neither would you, because they do a lousy job at casting them. Don't wish that. Do not wish that. Don't trust these assholes. I'm telling you right now. It's the same thing with on the Indiana Jones thing I belong to. You know, these morons, out of shape, flabby fanboys, bitching about how old Harrison Ford is and the fact that they should get a younger guy to play Indy, blah blah blah. They're not fans. They're not fans. They don't even understand the. I wouldn't trust them in any way, shape, or form because I guarantee you, if they cast somebody for Luke, you guys aren't gonna like it. You guys are not gonna like it. Okay? All right? Trust me. What did I say when they fucked Han Solo over? You just wait till they get their hands on Luke. Guess what they did? Okay? Don't trust them with the casting at all. I want it deep fake, or if you go back and you look at the digital animation for the Old Republic, look at that. Knights of the Old Republic. That is some fantastic art, and it looked real. And you could do them the way they're supposed to look, the way their bodies are built, everything, and you wouldn't be missing anything. You know, and if not that, then deep fake, but don't recast. Jesus Christ, don't recast. Anyway, I forget what my point was. Yeah, but you know, there's still gonna be people there at Star Wars Celebration that are gonna see us, see me, see other people, and get pissed off. You know, and there are people that are gonna be there that, in my opinion, should have the police knocking on their door. Brian Young, underage, grooming underage girls. Jason Ward, if he's there. But honestly, after the shit that's gone down, I don't think he will be. I really, really don't. And if he does, you know, he's not going to have a lot of people caring if he's there or not. You know, and that's the thing. Hey, Troy. But you know, we've everything seems to be going fine now. Look, my husband looks at me and says, "Why are you concentrating so much on this, you know, fighting the culture war?" And I said, "Because it's a war we can win. And if we win that war, we can win everything else." Okay? We can win everything else. And that is good. Okay? Because as Andrew Breitbart said, and if Kotank Sensei is still here, culture is upstream from politics. So whatever is going on in the culture will travel itself down into our politics. We have seen it over and over and over and over again. And, you know, when people say they're going to try to legalize pedophilia, yeah, they are. I guarantee it, they are. All right? And I'm not kidding. There are people, look at the High Republic authors. They have no problem presenting, they don't want children to be children anymore. Yeah, well, yeah. And getting, if Hamada and Sarnoff are gone, and we see Kennedy and Hidalgo and the story group go away, that'll be the first thing. And then we'll see Howard Kurtzman probably disappear. The franchises are more valuable to these companies than the people working on them. Okay? All right? That's a fact. That's a big fact, in fact. So, you know, I tell people, just get ready because the shit's gonna get real. It's gonna get real, and what time is it? Oh God, I got my watch right here, I can look. Okay. It's gonna get real, and it's gonna be a lot of fun by the time we're done, you know, I am really, really, really looking forward to a day soon Howard who? Karate Stick. Oh, Howard Kurtzman? Well, you know, you can't. That's good, by the way. That young captain, as far as I'm concerned, had every right to say, yeah, they've heard some rumors. I wouldn't be surprised about that. In some ways, that would make sense. You gotta understand is that Disney's really vulnerable to a hostile takeover right now. You know, you've got Amazon, you've got, which is a juggernaut. You've got Apple, which is a juggernaut. And it would be a better fit for Apple. Pixar bought was bought by Apple, Steve Jobs, from George Lucas. George Lucas owned Pixar. He was the one that started it. He was the one that gave John Lasseter the go ahead with all the digital animation they were doing. And thank you. Yeah, the like button, please, guys. And Steve Jobs bought it, and then Disney bought Pixar from Steve Jobs. You're right. You're right. I mean, it's very. See, man. I think you were here when I started talking about that. The Murdochs bought a streaming service called Quibbly. I think it's called Quibbly, and it's got a decent catalog. You can get it for free. It's all ready to go. Disney wanted to build their own. If they had gone in there and bought Quibbly, they probably wouldn't be as in bad a shape right now as they are. You know, there's some intellectual intelligence behind buying something Quibi. Yeah, it's Quibi. Buying a thing that's already there and then turning it into or using it as a platform to put the rest of what you want to create on there. There's some intelligence behind that. And, you know, I gotta say this, if Disney hadn't bought Fox, they'd probably be in better shape. But they bought Fox. If Fox still owned that catalog, I'm gonna tell you something right now. It would be a really different world. Because they could have all of their stuff on Quibi, and there would be a catalog Disney couldn't touch. All right. Yeah, if Murdoch bought it, but I don't think he will. Of course, I have heard the rumor that he would love to get his hands on Disney. But I'm going to say this. That doesn't mean anything because his sons would run it, and his sons are basically two pussy-whipped idiots. They're married to two crazy woke bitches, okay? So, you know, Rupert, he goes from one Vietnamese girlfriend or Thai girlfriend to another, so, and he's almost 90 years old. But there's something to be said for having money. But anyway, yeah, I just said that. Yeah. They have been. I mean, oh, I want to say something about Prince Harry. If you honestly think that he is the son of Charles, the Prince of Wales, you're smoking some good weed. Go and Google James Hewitt, and then put the pictures of him and Harry together. And you will see the fact that James Hewitt is probably his father. James Hewitt is a tall redhead. He's a ginger. He looks like Harry. I think he's dead now too, but you know, I think part of Harry's problem is he probably found out that he's not really a Windsor. And this is very interesting to me, but I don't think he's Charles's son. I really, really don't. Diana, I'm being brutally honest. When she died, I was really upset. But the more I look into it and the more I see the stuff that went on behind the scenes with her, I'd say that she was ungrateful for everything she had. And she walked into that marriage with her eyes wide open. And instead of doing her duty, I mean, she was kind of an outsider like Prince Philip was. But Philip did what he had to do. I mean, when I look at where he came from and how far outside of the royal family he really was in that circle, I mean, he first off, he was the Prince of Denmark and Greece. He was evacuated as a newborn in an orange crate on a British warship. He spent part of his time as a kid in France, in Paris. His father left his mother, Philip's mother, and it went nuts and was in a sanitarium until Philip kind of got her out. And his sister, both, I think two of them or three of them, at least two of them married high-ranking German officials, aka, and one of them was killed with their husband and their two kids in an airplane crash. He was kind of like being mentored by Lord Louis Mountbatten. That was his uncle. Hey, General Katarn. And that's who basically supervised his upbringing. And Louis Mountbatten was a hell of a man. I gotta admit, Ned Piranha, I have no F's to give about Diana anymore. I've done a lot of kind of diligent study into Her Majesty and all of that, and Diana could only dream of being the strong woman that she was, because she wasn't supposed to be queen. And there's some evidence that she was very upset with having to do a lot of the stuff that she was doing. I mean, people have said she'd rather be racing horses. That's what she wants to do. That's what she loves. So, I mean, my opinion of Diana is pretty much in the toilet bowl. She only dated Dodi Fayed because he was Egyptian, and she wanted to piss off the royal family. And, because they're horrible, horrible. It's like, you are just acting out like a goddamn child, knock it off. I hate people like that. I do. I hate it. It's like, knock it off. No, she didn't. And it's like, then, why'd you marry him for? First off, I actually had to be attracted to the guy. And when a guy's ears are big enough to be landing flaps on a B-17, I'm like, no. So anyway, no, General Katarn, we were talking about the Warner Discovery merger, the fact that Sarnoff and Yamada may be leaving too, and so yeah, he was a Prince Dumbo. I don't know. It's not going to tank. In fact, AT&T stock started to go up because they're going to ultimately be kind of like the Uber company. of all this. I think what they wanted to do, this just came to me, but the guy who runs, I think Disney is already doing that. After Pirates and Princesses, WDW Pro posted his thing today, and what Tom and Andre have been saying, and then Doomcock and others. I think Kennedy is gone. I think she's already out the door. And you don't have to believe me, but when you see Pablo Hidalgo on Twitter publicly being nice, you know, AT&T's stocks were up a point. I think Discovery's went up. I mean, this news came out yesterday on Variety at about like, we were going to buy ammo, or at least going on to look. And I looked at my email and Variety breaking news, and I'm like, holy shit. So I sent it to Tom and Andre, and then it just started. Well, he's going to. He's going to. All right, and he knows it. That's why. And when he goes, he's not going to be able to find another job. You know? Yeah, and Sarnoff too. And Sarnoff is WB's Kathleen Kennedy. Well, it was really weird. I don't know if she's got a brother or not. Let's assume she does. But she said his wife, Kay Hidalgo at Man Ray Sky on Twitter, was complaining about doing her brother's resume. And, that would be great. He'd be banning everybody. And I'm like, does she have a brother? I mean, she probably does. But would it really shock anybody if she's actually really talking about doing Pablo's resume? Because I think that she's been let go from Lucasfilm. But her job was local coordinator for Lucasfilm. Basically a liaison between Lucasfilm and San Francisco proper. Why would they? Oh, Kay Hidalgo is. Kristen Hidalgo is. I accidentally found it. So I swooped in under, I've got a Prime account. So I looked, hey, Bone. And I was like, it's her. It's her. And, they're still, they've all got the Lucasfilm thing. But, it's interesting to me that if you look at this thumbnail, that is a tweet that is rewriting Ripley, and the fact that Hidalgo on his other account was following them then. I don't know if he is anymore, because those two girls have gone to ground. And, Mazuris is kind of worried that they're planning on a next move. And I am pretty sure that after getting the shit scared out of him by the quartering and, EVS, that they probably just, because I haven't heard a word from them. The person that won't shut up still is that idiot who's doing Project Stardust. That chick is nuts. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not gonna predict that he's leaving too, but I find his newfound happy joy. I love the fans. I'm going to be very nice to them and talk to them, to be very interesting. And I notice that none of the guys out there, yeah, Star Wars Mag or Star Wars Michael, if you know, none of the guys who he's had trouble with have said a word to him. EVS, you don't see them. You don't see anybody sniping at him. And I think they all know that it's he's on his way out. I mean, we all know that, he's on his way out. And I think he posted that picture of Yoda, the Yoda statue in front of the Lucasfilm in the Presidio in San Francisco, and it was really a weird, kind of almost like a goodbye photograph. Yeah, Star Wars Mag or Stardust Mag or whatever. And it wasn't Star Wars Mag. I don't like her either. No, it's the chick behind Project Stardust. Because women need a safe space to be fans of Star Wars. I've been a fan for 40 years. I've never felt unsafe being a fan of Star Wars. So I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? And if you look at them, they're all just no personality, no color, no, they're all the same person. But anyway, that's good news about Sarnoff and Hamada. So it looks like all of them are leaving. I mean, all of them. Which says to me, WB might actually be thinking, and AT&T, of going a completely different direction, if that's the case. Or, as Andre said, they're going to be as woke as they can be until they don't make any money. Anyway. Well, Troy, I don't know if I'm 52 years old. I was 9 years old when Star Wars came out. I never, ever saw any kind of form of misogyny about being a Star Wars fan. I don't know General Katarn ever, anywhere. All through, the problems I had were with the women who weren't. You're weird. You like Star Wars? Why do you? Oh, he did. Wow. Well, that's a completely different attitude because I was on there listening for a while. Yeah, well, they can do that. I mean, maybe Rian Johnson can write a space opera. But the problems I had, going back to that thing, problems I had with, when I was in high school and in junior high, was the girls who didn't like Star Wars. They would give me shit. I watched a little of it. Yeah. Yeah, it was me too, Trela. Me too. And, now I'm really good friends with one of them. But anyway, I gotta go. I've got some stuff to do around here, and I'm gonna make a pasta fagioli tonight. So I gotta rock and roll and clean up the kitchen a little bit. Take the dog out. Yeah, we do, General Katarn. Hit me up on Hangouts, okay? So anyway, I'll see you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be well, and I think we got this locked down. So we're gonna be yup-nubbing very soon, boys and girls. I'm not kidding. Talk to y'all later.